Welcome to this tutorial on painting with tape. What I want to show you in this tutorial is simple geometric shapes, creating a landscape, a cubic landscape, in whatever color palette you choose. Today I'm going to be using reds, black, and a bit of yellow. Here's a 1 centimeter brush. What you want to do is keep it dry. Apply the paint with limited water. Any of the water that I have here is essentially just to clean off the brush and completely dry it once again, which is important, and it'll help keep the paint clean underneath the tape. And that's very important in this style of painting because you want sharp edges and a clean look. And as you can see in this first section here, I just made a big little section in the middle, and I didn't blend everything completely, right? I'm leaving some red and black patches in the yellow. I'm not smudging it all together. Pulling off some tape here, makes a nice sound. And as you can see, it's already got sharp edges, right? And that's the effect we're looking for. And what you want to do is let that completely dry to move on to the next part. You can even bring out this handy blow dryer if you got one. Speed up the process a bit, or just wait 10 minutes, it'll completely dry. You need it to be completely dry because you're going to be putting more masking tape on top of that dry tape. If it's slightly wet, it's not going to work how you want it to. So what I did here is I come to a corner, that white corner that I created, and I'm going to work another section out of that. Now this whole process is basically just filling in sections at a time. Try to keep the sections large. It creates a better cubic effect. You don't want to make them too small. And notice how I'm only on the second section and I've already reached the side of the canvas. And that's a good thing, right? You don't want too many sections at the start. You want to start large, learn this technique. And what you'll see is I'm doing the same color grouping. You can do whatever you want with colors, but I'm doing a theme, right? This is kind of a black, red, yellow theme for this painting. See how I'm painting the sides there? That'll be handy later. It gives the whole canvas a nicer look if you're not going to frame it. So I pull the tape off here. And as you can see, I've created it's about contrast, right? So all those dark, light, whatever edges, whatever color is on the edges, when you come back to it in the next section, you want to do something that will contrast it. Dark, light, light, dark, right? So that paint is dry. I'm going right over it cleanly, pressing down with my finger to create a really sharp edge there. And I'm figuring out what I want my next section to look like. I manipulate it and I'm like, okay, this is the shape I want. So when you do that, just make it big. Come with the light against the dark on that edge that was already there, or a dark against the light if that's how it was. See how it's that yellowish white is going to be, when I pull this tape off here, it's going to be against the dark red black. It's going to create a really nice angle, right? And these are kind of like staircases where your eye is changing perspective from concave and convex, like what's coming at you and what's going away. And here I'm going over it with a very clean wet brush, slightly wet, because a little bit of paint got underneath the tape. So this is how you fix it. You want to do that pretty quickly, right? When the paint is still a little wet, a tiny bit of wet moisture on the brush will come there and clean it off. And if you do that lightly and quickly, you'll see that you can fix little errors like that if something bleeds underneath the tape. It's very good to practice that because you don't want to really fix that afterwards if you can fix it right away. You see I'm going on the side again. I have that kind of lighter edge at the top. See there, I would fix that. If I was going to go back and fix that, I had a little bit too much red next to red there. See, like even when you finish, when I look back on these things, I still see things that I can correct. And technically I could easily just, since it's so dry now, I could go back and redo those sections or just the edges if I want to. So don't be like ever discontent if there's something that didn't turn out the way you like, just let it dry and you can go back over it and redo the section. Here's light against dark, looks good. And there, oh, even better, I really like that white against the dark red there. Very nice sharp corner. As you turn it, you can see how it's like a box. I see that almost like a staircase. Here we're doing some more. And you get the point as you go along, right? I mean, it's about contrast, sharp edges, keeping things clean, dry. Remember to keep things dry when you're using tape. I've got that paper towel underneath so I don't get the table dirty. That's just a little thing you can do. See at the top of this one, again, it's like dark versus dark, and I would go back and change that. I mean, I like to have the consistency with the contrast, and there's a few places in this painting where I didn't really do that. But you're always learning as you go along. And if you're watching this and you want to participate, like learn from the mistakes that I made and just be cognizant of these edges as you go. Use a lot. This is a nice one. See, white versus dark and red. So that's the thing. Like, go bold with your contrast. It'll look nice when it's all finished. Here I'm getting near to the end because I'm filling in these smaller parts that are. And so you see, like this bottom corner, I could have just all done in one section, but instead I broke it up into two sections. Creates yet another cubic corner box for the painting, right? So if you see like there, it almost creates its own little pyramid, right? So you don't want to get too small when you start to near these sides. You still want to stay big, but and this comes with practice, with visual expertise on you do this enough times, you'll see the shapes before you even paint them. But just, there's parallel lines you want to pay attention to as well. Like I'm kind of trying to keep these things not really triangular, but more rectangular or rhombus-like, if you could say. Because again, visually, see, I'm cleaning those edges. Got a couple more sections to go. Going in with the dark here. I think that dark, let's see how that turns out. Dark and red, really full on black, contrasts almost against anything nicely. But the more you can do like really dark versus really light comes nice. And you notice how I'm not really blending too much of the sections. If there's like yellow lines or little curvatures, you don't need to overblend those things. You can let them sit there. They create a nice effect. They create their own little mini landscapes within each other. It's like 10 or 12 different little tiny paintings all in one at the end. Here we go, 2 little sections left. And this whole thing took me, basically just straight painting time, about 45 minutes. If you want to go, like that's with a lot of practice and being clean and being fast and efficient, but there's no need to rush. And here, finished. I'll give you a little rotation. You can see the cubism, right? Like how there's like dynamic landscape and your eyes kind of go towards the middle, but as you rotate it, you see different ways, you see different angles, perspectives. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.